Hi, here's our weekly Monday walk around the patch. Not much plant left here, so it was tears before bedtime on the weekend. It's our amazing Jutras plant with amazing pumpkin on it. Sorry Joe, we tried so hard. We check our watering with our computer system every day. We discuss what it says. If you remember, that's our probes in the soil. We look around the plant visibly and we check. And even with all that, slight discrepancy in the water, or maybe just occasionally we get unlucky. Not a real believer in luck, but unfortunately it split on the weekend, so we took the plant out. We did use it as an opportunity to dig down, check our roots out all over the patch, see how much water is at the bottom of the patch, because obviously you can't do that on the other patches. So we used it as an opportunity. But if Ian shows you it split, probably a different way. I seem to think they split the other way, but
I don't actually, looking at the when we dug down, I don't think it is water actually.
So a bit of a strange one. It's a shame. It was our most vigorous plant probably we've ever had. The leaves are up here, if you remember. The pumpkin itself is beautiful looking pumpkin, but more importantly, it's probably our second fastest growing one, which is a big shame. So if you've got another seed next year, Joe and Sue, could we have one, please? So let's go on to better news, and we'll go and look at, we've got a fantastic Werner over here, one of Quinn's, always gives us seeds, very kind. And here we go. Now that's a proper looking pumpkin. Not that it particularly matters, but it is nice. Now this thing on day 41 is 767 pounds. So that's grown 315 pounds this week, which is 45 pounds a day. And that's pretty close to our best. I did treat this with Ethereal at 48 hours after pollination, which is our version of what Matt Barco does. I only tried this one because we've got two Werners exactly the same, and I thought I'd give it a go. And what that does, supposedly, is it keeps the cell division stage going longer. So you get an extra day, hopefully, of cell division, making cells, which might possibly make it a bit slower to improve its weight, because after cell division you get cell elongation, and that's when all the cells expand, and that's when you see your real growth. So maybe that's why it's a little slow getting going, but it's certainly going now, and we've got some good hopes for this. So let's go and see another Werner we've got over here. Well, this is our other Werner. On day 42, it's up. It's 693 pounds. That's up 246 pounds for the week, and that's growing 42 pounds a day. So still a great pumpkin. I don't think it's going to be a record breaker, but we know that we look after every single pumpkin, because this might save our season. Yeah, this might mean the difference if we make a small mistake, that we've got a pumpkin to take to the show. But it's still going to be a really big pumpkin if we can keep it going. We're not quite sure how big yet. But that's still a good pumpkin, and we'll move on to the Mia, and I'll show you the Mia. Okay, here's our 2096 Mir. It's had a reasonable week in the patch. I don't think it's going to break any records. It's got a little bit of netting over the back and the front, but it's still going to be a biggish pumpkin. On day 38, it's £700, so it's up £291 for the week, which is £41 a day. So again, it's like the last one of Quins. It's one that we're going to work on and get every pound we can out, because we might want this one to save our season if we lose one of our bigger ones. So now we'll move on and have a look at the Wallace. This is a 1975 Wallace. Gave us a little bit of a scare this week because it's got a tiny little hole in the back of the stem. But it's not too bad. We put a fan on there just to make sure it's dry while it calluses over. We've seen them with far worse than that, but it did give us a bit of a scare last week. I think it's probably going to be fine. Had quite an amazing week actually. So on day 39, it's already £781, and that's up £354 for the week. So slightly over £50 a day, which is a record for us, and quite exciting. But we tend not to get too excited. It can all change tomorrow morning.
Nice chaise lounge or sofa, isn't it?
It is. We'll make a nice sofa for someone. So let's move on to the Mir. Actually, I meant to move on to this white.
Do you want to mention anything about plants and still looking at the leaves and?
Yeah, the plants themselves are still looking fantastic. We've got some screens. You probably can't see them, they're up in the roof. They come over, we've set the light levels on the computer, and if it gets too bright, which effectively makes it too hot, these shading screens come over the top, and they just give the plants a bit of respite. But also, when plant leaves wilt, that is basically the stomata and all the cells closing down and shutting off and stopping water going out the leaves, and also the reason it wilts is to reduce the surface area that the sun can see. But when your plant gets down to that mode, it's actually not growing your pumpkin. So we want our leaves up, looking at the sun, working as hard as possible. The moment they start wilting, we know they're starting to shut down. So we've got these screens that come backwards and forwards when the sun gets too hot, and the clouds come over it, they go back again, and it's just another thing in our armoury to try and beat the great pumpkin growers in the world, which we can sort of get near, but we've never quite beaten. So, but this is it's white, 1781's white. Guys, just had a fantastic week. On day 40, it's already £948.